Attention in the pit area. We need top fuel. Top fuel to the staging lanes, please. Top fuel. This is your first call. To the staging lanes, please. Top fuel to the lanes.
Top Fuel. Top Fuel, we need you to the lanes. Top Fuel to the lanes. Funny cars, we need Top Fuel dragsters and funny cars to the lanes. Top Fuel dragsters and funny cars to the lanes. It's time. Top Fuel to the lanes, please. Top Fuel to the lanes. Top Fuel and funny cars to the lanes. All right, we've got our first Top Fuel car into the staging lanes. We're looking for more Top Fuel, funny cars, and dragsters to the lanes. All right, we're getting ready for Top Fuel and Funny Car. We got Top Fuel starting to come in the lanes. The first two that are going to be out, well, looks like Mendy Fry and Brendan Murray are there, getting ready to go. Brendan and Mindy giving their greetings to each other as they get ready. Two West Coast racers have come all the way back here to run here at Bowling Green. So we're getting ready for the first qualifying session of the Top Fuel cars. It'll be their only session today. We've got Nostalgia Top Fuel Dragsters, Nostalgia Funny Cars getting ready to go here at Beach Bend at the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion. We're glad you could be here, and I know you are going to enjoy this round. We've done some track prep. Everything should be ready for them to go. 200-mile-an-hour plus front-motor dragsters and funny cars coming your way. It's Nitro in the air. Come on back. Get your seats. Get ready to go. The staging lanes are getting full. There are Nitro cars getting ready to run. If you've got allergies, take the front row seats in the grandstands. The Nitro will be in the air in just a few minutes. Here he comes out now. This gentleman's coming out. He's got SFI approved canopy on his little scooter. And he's a NASCAR fan. You can tell by the right turns he's been making and left turns. Nitro in the air shortly. The dragsters are pulled into the lanes. Brendan Murray and Mendy Fry getting into seats, getting ready to be strapped in. The high-speed motorsports machine and running wild coming up next. Top Fuel will be running in just a moment. Again, show and shine hot rods. Get prepared if you want to make a pass down the famous Beach Bend drag strip. You get to do it after the fuel round. We'll call you to the lanes, $10. You pull into the lanes, get a tech card, and you can race down the quarter mile here at Beach Bend at the conclusion of Top Fuel and Funny Car qualifying. All right, our first two Top Fuel cars pulling up into the track. High-speed motorsports machine. Mindy Fry behind the wheel. Mindy's driving prowess comes from many years behind the wheel of various cars. In high school, she had a blown 1955 Chevy. That was her street get-to-school car. She had an altered. Became world famous with that machine. Came back to racing after a hiatus and has been driving some amazing machines, including the high-speed motorsports Top Fuel dragster. Mindy Fry has been one of the top nostalgia fuel drivers in the country. All right, Gullies in the vendor row has got some wood missing. Apparently someone thought they were samples to be used or borrowed. Please bring them back to Gullies in the manufacturer's midway area. There were blocks of wood. They are not samples. They are not free. They are needed for his booth. Please bring them back. Brendan Murray out of San Jose, California in the room and chassis car. 426 TFX Hemi over in the left lane. Mindy Fry from Los Angeles, a 2016 Hadman chassis with a Donovan 419. Brendan Murray and Mindy Fry can be seen at Top Fuel races all up and down the West Coast and at all the heritage events. Brendan Murray was the last to enter into the 5-second club. Brendan Murray's car, first to life. Mindy Fry follows. You're seeing history made here at Beach Bend as we go into the first round of Top Fuel qualifying. Brendan Murray for years drove nothing but Chevrolet-powered fuel cars. He was the last to enter into the Brower 5-second club for Nostalgia Top Fuel. He did it at the California Hot Rod Reunion. Mindy Fry, many, many years behind the wheel of race cars. As I said earlier, her high school car, a 1955 Chevrolet with a blower. That was her daily driver. She moved on to a bright orange roadster that she ran in top categories, Supergas, and was an excellent driver. In her teens, she was one of the top-rated drivers on the West Coast. Brendan Murray, a constant face in Nostalgia Top Fuel. He switched over to Hemis just a few years ago. He's been running big block Chevys for decades. The smell of nitro is in the air and is even coming into the booth. Brendan Murray in the Running Wild machine. High-Speed Motorsports, Mindy Fry. Two West Coast racers. Brendan chasing passes. Mindy backs out. Brendan goes 638, 180 miles an hour. He backs out as well. Mindy lifts the throttle before half track. She had the better 60 foot of 1.03. Brendan's was 1.12. At the half track, that's where Mindy had backed out of it. Brendan goes 638 at 180. Mindy coasting through at a mere 35 miles an hour. But don't worry. Sometimes they do this on purpose, just to see what the 60-foot mark is and how the car sounds. So Brendan Murray's increments were 1.1 the first 60 feet, 2.8 at the 330, 4.1 at the half track point. He was doing 196 miles an hour at half track. He was at 522 at the 1,000-foot mark and then lifted. Mindy was 1.0 the first 60 feet. Definitely got the power to the pavement. But then the 330 mark, she backed off 3.1 seconds and 6 seconds at the 8th mile, coasting through. All right, two more. Big black Chevy power here in the right lane. Hemi power going into the left lane. Dave Miller out of Cedar Hill, Missouri. An 05 Niels and Park chassis car. 418 cubic inches worth of Hemi power. Tyler Hilton out of Cincinnati, Ohio. A 2012 Horton chassis car. 427 cubic inches worth of Chevrolet. Chevys can be made competitive. Brendan Murray proved that many years ago. We're checking the track, make sure everything is all right before we fire these guys up. Everything appears good. They're hooking up the starter cables to the starters. They are ready to go. Squirting in the alcohol to get the things fired up. More nitro action here at the 16th Annual Holley Hot Rod Reunion. Getting all crossed up. Miller does his burnout, straightens it out, but he went on a little bit of a wild ride there as the back end started going everywhere. Hilton keeps it straight, gets the tires heated up. We scraped the track right before this round and prepped it, so conditions should be at optimum conditions, levels. Funny cars, you should be in the lane. Funny cars, you should be in the lane. Tyler Hilton in the right lane. Dave Miller, left lane. Ready to go. Brendan Murray right now on top, but he didn't make a full pass. He backed out of it. Three-stage lights lit. RPMs come down. Full stage. 1.060 foot. Back. Right lane backs out. Half track. Left lane backs out right before the finish line. Goes 641 at 166 miles an hour. Was doing 199 at half track. So Dave Miller goes up into the number 2 spot. Tyler, well, he had a 107.60 foot, as did Dave Miller. So they both launched hard. First 60 feet, 2.7 seconds for Miller, 2.8 for Hilton. But Hilton had backed out by half track, was only doing 98 miles an hour, whereas Miller, still on the throttle, was at 199 miles an hour at the 1,000-foot mark. So Miller, right now, based on their runs, goes up to the number 2 spot with a 641. Tyler Hilton, number 3, with a mere 10:04. Thank you for being here at the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion. Funny cars, you should be in the lanes. You will follow Top Fuel. Funny cars, you should be in the lanes. You will follow Top Fuel. All right, James Young out of Salem, Wisconsin. He is over in the left lane, the Budweiser lane, the Jegs lane. Julius Hughes out of Gainesville, Georgia. A 2011 Horton chassis. 426, new style Hemi. 406 Hemi. The left lane has a smaller motor, but is trying to get the power to the pavement. Now, some of the theory is a smaller motor has less torque at the low end. You get off the line without spinning the tires, but you make up for it in RPM. And the cubic inches is all you need, and you'll make some horsepower. So the bigger engine, Julius Hughes in the Jegs lane, the right lane. Out of Gainesville, Georgia, 54 years old. 2011 Horton chassis with a 426 Hemi. Chris Bale, bolts. Sponsor, James Young, Salem, 37-year-old, self-employed. Chassis was built in 2007. He's got a 406 cubic inch Hemi. Brendan Murray, currently the #1 qualifier with only a 638. Down track, full throttle, 579. 579, 254 miles an hour. James Young is the one to target now. 579, 254 miles an hour. Julius Hughes, 655 and 189, takes over the #4 spot. But the #1 spot, James Young, good, smooth, straight run of 579, 254 miles an hour. He was making some power with the smaller motor. The past champion of this event, back there in staging, still to come. Tim Kallman here in the Jegs lane, the bright green machine. Jason Greenwood out of Racine, Wisconsin, 2010 Sterling chassis car, 413 cubic inch Hemi. Tim Cullinan out of Franklin Park, Illinois, in the Jeggy lane. A TFX 413, so they both have Hemis, both 413s. The number to beat, James Young right now, 579. It's Nostalgia Top Fuel. The hardcore guys that still believe the engine is supposed to be up front. Cars come to life. Jason Greenwood gets on the throttle heavy early. Raw fuel spewing out of the exhaust pipes on Cullinan's car. Is now the target. That's the number to beat. Tim's car was built in 2009. It's an NTF chassis. Jason Greenwood's 2010 Sterling chassis car. Unlike the big show rear motor cars, the chassis nostalgia will last a few years. Last minute adjustment. Left lane running clean, smooth. Right lane. Moving up. Going in first into the beam. Close to the center line, pops the chute, 596. 204 miles an hour to a 622 for Greenwood's 225. So Cullinan, number 2 now with the 596. We're going to check the track, all the smoke as he went through the finish line just to make sure nothing came down. Still to come, Adam, the champion speed shop machine. Full canopy enclosed car, one of the most beautiful cars on the circuit. Running Chevrolet power. Adam Sorokin won the event here last year. He's the defending champ, and he's going to try and do it again. His competition coming up is the Spirit of Tulsa, traditional Hemi power. 2 amazingly detailed and beautiful cars. The showmanship here is amazing. Adam Sorokin out of La Crescenta, California. 2004 Sterling chassis car. The smallest engine in the category, a Chevrolet 377. Paul Schultz out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Paul Nobody Schultz is what he calls himself. Donovan engine. Larry Rogers behind the car, along with Bob McLennan on Sorokin's car. Paul Schultz also running a small bore motor, 390 cubic inches worth of Hemi. Sorokin 377. The 2 smallest engines in the class. Funny Cars, you'll be coming out next. Funny Cars be coming out next. All right, still clearing the high end of the track as both cars stopped at the turnout area. Once they clear, we'll get these guys going. Top Fuel returns here to Bowling Green for the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion. And you're seeing history made. Right now, your number one qualifier is James Young with a 579. Tim Gillinan, 596. Greenwood, 622. Murray, 638. Miller, 41. Julius Hughes, 55. And then Tyler Hilton and Mendy Fry on 2 shutoff runs. So Adam Sorokin over in the Budweiser lane. Paul Schultz in the Jeggy lane, the Jegs lane. Schultz fires up first, does his burnout. Sorokin pulls into the water box. Full canopy car, the only enclosed car on the circuit. Sorokin backing up the champion speed shot car. Smallest engine cars in the category. Sorokin with a small block Chevy with 377 cubic inches. They are able to get this little motored car down the track in record time. As I said, he's the past defending champion of this event. He won it last year. Paul Schultz, 92 Sterling chassis car with a 390 Donovan Hemi. Sorokin has won numerous races with that car, including the California Hot Rod Reunion here at Bowling Green last year. Patriotic uniforms of the team. Gets back in it again. He's still out in front. Goes through 618, 222 miles an hour to an 806 and 116. So Sorokin, 618. Not the run they were expecting. Goes up to the number 3 spot. He hazed the tires, artfully brought it back, and goes up to the number 3 spot. He had a 1.03 60-foot mark. Schultz with a 1.2. At the halfway point, Sorokin was at 288. Mile per hour at the 8th mile was 200. Schultz was 151. Sorokin was ahead by 0.4 of a second at the halfway point. And at 5:23 at the 1,000-foot mark, Schultz at a 6:27. Schultz lifted, backed out of it, going 116 miles an hour. Sorokin pedaled it a couple of times and brought it in at 222 miles an hour at 6:18. The funny cars are now pulling up to the head of the staging lanes as we get ready for more nitro action. And show cars, show and shine hot rods, you get ready. Show and shine hot rods. Street legal runs are going to start a little bit later on. All right, again, show and shine hot rods. Show and shine hot rods. You want to make that run down the famous Beach Bend quarter mile? Pull over to staging. Again, hot rods. If you are entered into the show and shine, you are eligible to make a run down the quarter mile. $10. You got to pass tech. Pull into the staging lanes. John Smith out of Anderson, South Carolina with the funny car over in the Budweiser lane. It's a Barracuda. Challenger. Yeah, Challenger. So it's a Challenger funny car. Going to take on the Camaro funny car. All right, the funny car is fired up, getting ready to go. Don't have information yet on the Camaro, but we've got John Smith in the Challenger over in the Budweiser lane. Dan Horan here in the right lane, another California racer. He comes from a fuel racing family. Dan Horan's dad, Dan Sr., top fuel driver. As a matter of fact, he won the Good Guys top fuel race at Pomona with his car from the 60s. The last original top fuel car to win an event, and he won Pomona for the Good Guys. Dan Horan Jr. here in the right lane. He's driven his dad's car. Now he's been driving his own funny cars for the last few years. Funny cars, last minute adjustment of the wheelie bar. Pulling up into the beams. Three-stage lights lit. They've got Hemis. They know how to use it. 161. Horan gets all over the place, crosses the center line, takes out the cones. 679, 143, backing out to a 619, 172, but the run won't count for Dan. He crossed the center line, took out the cones, so that's a DQ for him on this run. Again, if you were in the Show and Shine, you got a chance to run down the quarter mile. Show and Shine High Rod street legal runs start right after fuel qualifying. You're going to run your hot rod down Beach Bend quarter mile, just $10. You must have a Show and Shine entry, though, and you run from when we finish fuel until we're done. And get as many runs as you want. We're scheduled to secure the track by 8 o'clock. Buy your ticket for $10 in Tech. You've got to pull into Tech. Show and shine cars. Show and shine cars. Come on down. You want to make a street drag run? Street runs for show and shine cars. Pull into the back of staging right now. $10. You make yourself a pass or two. Come on over. Street cars. You've got to be entered into the show and shine, but bring your cars down if you'd like to make a pass down the famous Beach Bend drag strip. And again, show and shine cars. You want to make a pass down the famous Beach Bend drag strip? Now's the time to get in line. Pull into staging. Now remember, you've got to have the required safety equipment for the capability of your car. So if your car runs quicker than $13.99, hope you have a helmet with you. You got to have seat belts, double return springs on the carburetor, and whatever else tech says is necessary. All right, we're a bit ahead of schedule. And so show and shine cars if you want to make that run. If you want to make that run down the famous Beach Bend quarter mile, $10 in your hot little hands. Pull into the back of staging, get your tech card, and you can make a pass. If your car passes tech. Again, you've got to be able to pass tech. Dan Horan took out some of the timing blocks. We're going to get those put back in. We're cleaning the track, getting all the styrofoam pieces and parts off the track. We'll be back to racing action. Bob Fry here in the tower with us. What's up, Bob?
Well, just waiting for the last couple of funny cars to come out and make their runs, and I just wanted to let the folks know that a lot of our legends are still back there in the pit area. I just saw Larry Lombardo's car. He'll be our Grand Marshal for tomorrow night over at the Corvette Museum. Don't forget, folks, if you're here for the duration for the weekend, tomorrow night for the first time, we'll be presenting the honorees down at the Corvette Museum. And you can come on in, and there's no charge to be part of our celebration. They will keep the museum open. If you want to go full through the museum, I assume there'll be a little tariff, but to come on over and be part of what's going to be a really nice night over there at the Corvette Museum tomorrow night to see Larry Lombardo, our Grand Marshal, and all of our special honorees. It's also great during the course of the day, walk back there in the pit area, and it stood in one about 5-foot space of asphalt back there, and saw George Montgomery, Bruce Larson, and Big Daddy Don Garlitz all standing there just chatting. So it's really just a great place. Been a very nice day, as Bob said. He said a little bit, actually way ahead of schedule. Been a great day today. Cooperation, little tip of the cap to all the racers, and of course our great crew here at Beach Bend for doing a marvelous job with the racetrack. Occasionally have a little bump in the road like we had out there, but it was that way in 1955 when they started running the Nationals, and it's probably never going to change. You get cars with this much horsepower running down the track. Occasionally things go a little bit wacky and get out of shape there. But I just want to remind the folks that tomorrow night over at the Corvette Museum. Come on down and be part of our honorees. First time we will have done it at the Corvette Museum, so just a great opportunity to be part of the festivities here at the National Hot Rod Museum event, and just a fun place to be. And like I said, I'm a drag racing fan first and foremost, and to walk through the pit area and see the caliber of drivers that are there. Some are displaying, some are just watching, some are racing. But it is just a great place for all of you drag racing fans. And, of course, the nice thing, you get to come out here to the racetrack with the covered grandstands, and it's going to be a little bit hotter tomorrow and probably hotter on Saturday yet. But we want to thank all the fans for coming out, all the show cars. Had 50 or 60 extra race cars entered today at the gate, which was kind of cool. Already had a nice turnout of cars. But always nice to get back there and walk around the pit area and see all the Anglias and the Willies and the Gassers and the Chevrolets and the funny cars. A lot of the cars were part of the formative years of the sport of drag racing. Of course, one of our honorees tomorrow night, Joe Williamson, was the guy that basically made a living running here at this racetrack. A great Division III racer in the old modified and competition eliminator classes. And, it will be great to see him tomorrow night. And, of course, Larry Lombardo drove for the Grump, Bill Jenkins, one of the great legends there. But all of our other honorees. It's going to be a fun night tomorrow night. So Bill Law's car is on display over there in the area right behind the timing tower. One of the great Chevrolet racers in the early days of sport. His son Mike's still running in the top dragster category. Got some great racing lines there for the family, the Laws family. So Greg Exicalis, our Division I director for so many years, and I don't think he'll be with us tomorrow night. But the rest of the honorees, Ed Miller, who had that great race in 1967, winning the $10,000 from George Hurst. Ed's a guy that's mid-70s and still racing. So we hope it'll be nice to see him. I mentioned Bo Laws with his great line of Corvettes, Jay Howe, and all the great cars that he was involved with, including the Dart Charger that eventually became part of the Don Garlitz legacy for a short while until it wound up on its roof. And mentioned, of course, Larry Lombardo, whose first win came up there at Englishtown Racing, that famous Gap and Rouse four-door Maverick. So those will be our honorees tomorrow night. And just going to be a fun place to be over there at the Corvette Museum. So we appreciate you all coming down there for this annual Holley Hot Rod reunion. All the great race cars that are out there and all the people that make it such a fun event. So looks like the racetrack's just about clear. And again, Bob, to remind the folks about their show and shine cars, because they should get in line because we're ahead of schedule. We're going to, not stay open as late as we thought we were. And again, that's a credit to the staff here at Beach Bend and all the folks, the racers that did such a good job today. So if you got one of those show and shine cars, so far we got the entire lineup over there. It's one.
One so far. They Ford Pop, the popular or the prefect, is back there getting ready to go. And like Bob was saying, the Corvette Museum, if you haven't already been to the Corvette Museum, it is an amazing event in itself. But now we're going to bring the cruise there, the Hot Rod Cruise, and the honoree presentations tomorrow evening. So join us over there. It's free to get in if you come in for the honoree presentations and the cruise. So if you're part of the Hot Rod Cruise, it's going to be a full cruise night there at the Corvette Museum. Join us. The cruise night is free. Getting in for the presentations is free. Come into the Hot Rod Reunion honoree presentations tomorrow evening at the Corvette Museum. And if you've not been there, you need to go, because it is a great place with a lot of history. We were talking back here in the booth earlier about some of the people that made history, including one of the lead designers on the Corvette, Stingray, the first one, Larry Shinoda, and Peter Brock. Now, Peter Brock, best known for his BRE cars and the Cobras. All right, funny cars coming to life. It's the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion.
So Lewis has your board.
Yeah.
He's got his and yours.
Okay. He might have done a couple years ago. Okay. Sorry. We're going live. Try and talk to you again, Bob. I'm ready. Hi, Dave. I am doing great. The weather is beautiful here for Bowling Green. We're in the mid-80s. The temperature's nice and comfortable. Humidity's not as high as usual. We don't have any rain, which is normal, but it's just a great event.
Hey everybody, we're just about done here this evening. We have a few cars over here in the staging lanes, and the show and shine cars over here in the staging lanes and street legal runs if you're not over there. But hey, the folks over at the back porch grilling over here right across from the tower, they were expecting us to go a little bit longer, so they've already pre-cooked a whole bunch of stuff. And if you're hungry and looking for something good to eat, stop by over there. They've got some discounts on all the extra food that they've cooked up. Pork chops, $3. All burgers are $2. Hot dogs, $1. $3 for barbecue. Some great eating over there. It's close for me up in the tower. I always sneak over there and get something every time I'm here at Bowling Green, and you should too. The Division III starter recommends it, highly recommends it. So again, pork chop sandwiches, $3. All burgers, $2. Hot dogs, $1. Barbecue, only $3 at the back porch grilling right across from the tower up here next to the crosswalk. They will be happy to take care of you because they got plenty of food. They were expecting a little longer night, and your loss is their gain. Stop by and see them. Maybe I said that wrong. Did I say that? Their loss is your gain. Yeah, not the other way around. Might have screwed that up. Sorry. But anyway, stop by and see them. Back porch grilling. So once again, we're just about done for the evening here. If you get a chance, stop by and see all these gorgeous show cars and race cars that are scattered throughout the grounds here at Beach Bend Raceway Park. Stop by and see these vendors. Right here by the tower, you got Quick Fuel and Holley, and they wrap all the way around the oval track here, and then all throughout the grounds. Stop by and pick up a souvenir t-shirt, anything to help you enjoy the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion, presented by AAA Insurance, right here at the famed racetrack, Beach Bend Raceway Park. We are just about done. We got a couple of cars left in the staging lanes, and then we will be calling it an evening. Tomorrow morning, we get started at 8:30. Start time 8:30 tomorrow morning. Very busy day lined up for Friday, along with racing action here at Beach Bend. We have the induction, Hall of Fame inductions, which will be at the National Corvette Museum. You'll want to stop by that very special event as we recognize our honorees from this year's Holley Hot Rod Reunion. But once again, we will start tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Again, a few race cars left to go down the track, and then we will be calling it a night.